Hello, it's David Young, the resourceful coach here at Corinthians Golf Club here in Kent in the UK. And what we're going to go through today, I'm going to play a couple of holes and going to go through a little bit how I would naturally sort of respond to the shot that I've played, how I'd react to things, and then wherever I end up is sort of dealing with that particular shot and how I'd play my next shot. So what I find a lot of the time when I go out with golfers is their reaction to shots probably dictates the mood of how they're going to play the next shot. And it may come down to a couple of things. It may be a lack of confidence in what they're doing in their shot, or they may see the result down the hole, and actually what they're very concerned about in that respect is, can they actually play the next shot? And that's probably the biggest thing when you look at golfers when they go to the golf courses. Have they got the ability to play the next shot that's in front of them? So I'm going to talk you through that. Wherever my balls end up, I will play the shots from. We're going to use a thing called my 20-yard zone, which sort of gets me kicking into the mindset of playing the shot. And as we've done on previous videos, go through having that routine to create the idea of the shot as we go through. So a lot of things I'll go through will seem like I'm taking a while to explain them, but in a real game will take seconds. But the difference is my mind has been doing this for a long, long time, and it's consistent in doing it. So that's why it happens very quickly. So we're here on the third hole, probably my favourite hole on the golf course here at Corinthians. It's only a 320-yard par 4, but it's a lovely dogleg. We go up a hill here, doglegs round the corner, down the hill, and then sitting in front of the green's a pond. So the tee shot is all about getting the ball in play. I'm looking for a shot here of around about anywhere between 175 and 200. If I could get a little bit of a draw to take it round the corner, that would be a bonus. But anything up near that marker post gives me a good opportunity to give myself an iron shot into the green, probably ranging anything from a wedge to a 7-iron, depending on where I am. And that's quite an important thing to understand, is that I'm happy to be in that range. So what a lot of golfers, they think they've got to play their best shot. If they haven't got that wedge into the green, they feel it's a little bit of a disaster. It feels like they've let themselves down. For me, if I'm in the air, I know I can put it on the green. I know I can hit a good 7, 8, 9 wedge. It doesn't really matter. So actually it's taking a little bit of pressure off the hybrid I'm going to hit up the hole. But let's play the tee shot, we'll wander up, see what we've got, and I'll show you my 20-yard zone and how we're going to play from there on in. So really important, get a clear picture. So as I said, there's a marker post up the fairway. I'm going to aim just slightly to the right of it because the camber of the fairway. I naturally hit a little bit of a draw, so that suits my eye. Just happens to be going up the line there, a tree that I'm aiming at. I think if I aim straight at that, get my shape, should follow the hole nicely. Should be good. So good intentions, good visualization of what I'm going to do. Let's play the shot. So nice rhythm. Haven't hit it perfectly, but it's down the line I want to go. I know I'm going to be in that area we talked about, somewhere between a wedge and a 7-iron. Let's go up and have a look and then see what we can do from there. So I'm arriving at my ball and I start to engage now in the shot. And the first thing I do, I'm within about 20 yards of my ball, I pull out my viewfinder and I'll get up to the ball. And what I'm looking for now is to get some distances and then start to take into account what's in front of me. So first thing I do, we're going over water. So the biggest thing I'm looking for here is some key numbers. So first number, 117 yards to the flag. Because we're going slightly downhill, it's actually saying I've got about 112. That's what the Bushnell slope reading is telling me. And that's really because the flag is only just over the water. That's really my minimum distance that I want to be thinking about. That's my carry number. I don't want to bring the water in. We can bring the water in, just give you an update of where that is. So again, we're 112 taking into account the slope. It's 103 to carry the water. So we can see it's a good 10 yards over. And the key thing is, we talked about this before on other shots, is we very rarely hit that perfect shot. So a lot of golfers here would be thinking 112 yards. Okay, what am I going to hit as the perfect shot? That might be, for most golfers, maybe a wedge, 9-iron. But straight away, what you're bringing now, if you miss-hit it, are you still going to carry the 103 yards? So that's what my brain's computing as I go through. Okay, so we've got water in front. We've got the hole nicely behind. And then I just take another reading, which then sort of relaxes me a little bit. I take a reading to the back of the green. And that's 125 yards to get to the back of the green. So now you can see I've got a good 20-yard area there between the water and the back of the green. And I know this should be a wedge all day long. The conditions are nice and warm. That should be a nice pitching wedge into the green. but I'm on a little bit of an awkward lie. Okay, I'm on a bit of a hanging lie. What we mean by that is ball is slightly, I would look at it, a little bit of a down slope and ball above my feet. So the biggest thing I want to make sure I do here is, again, feel that I can swing the club smoothly on this awkward lie. So I know a wedge probably will get me. A downhill lie would actually strengthen the club, make it a little bit more powerful, but I know I've got lots of green behind that flag. So I'm actually just going to be clever here and just hit a really smooth 9-iron, okay? Because, again, it's knowing your skill level, it's knowing what you can do. That's the important thing. I know, yeah, a really good wedge will probably get me there, but from the awkward lie, I don't fancy always getting that consistent contact. So let's take a 9-iron. What I would always do on an awkward lie, have a couple of practice swings just to get the feel of what I'm doing. And then because the ball's a little bit above my feet, flag is cut fractionally middle left side of the green, I'm going to aim more in the middle of the green. Again, I'm happy with that. Take this shot, if I end up in the middle of the green, quite happy with that result. So from there, because it's a little bit above my feet, I'm just finding my posture. What I naturally do then, it just feels like I'm gripping a little bit down the club, but I want my normal posture. Because it's slightly downhill, I'm now going to favour my weight slightly left side. Remember, I've picked plenty of club. Nice solid strike. This is over the water, no problem at all. So I think I've struck it well enough. See what we get. I can just see it. I think it's ended up, because it wasn't the perfect strike, it's actually ended up probably about pin high, about 15 feet from the hole. So by being clever and not trying to be hitting the perfect shot, I've ended up in a really good position. Good chance now, might even get a birdie, but just by being a good understanding of the slopes, your swing, and knowing what to do, I found then I've put that ball near to the green. Let's go up and have a look, see if we can now make a birdie and read the putt and go from there. So we've got up to the green, and as we said, we saw the ball come on and it sort of moved a little bit left. We talked about the ball above my feet. The ball now has ended up a little bit to the left of the hole. So that little bit of draw came in, but I'm quite happy with that. I'm looking at it. I had what, just over 110 yards, and I've put the ball within, let's measure it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paces. So about 15 feet, which even for me as a scratch golfer is better than average. I mean, that's what you've got to realise. From 110 yards, if I put this inside 25, 30 feet, I'm doing fine. From that position, on average, I'm going to get down in 3 shots. So I've hit a nice tee shot, okay. Decent 9-iron to the edge of the green. Now what I've got to look at, I've got a little bit of green here to work with, but I've also got about 18 inches of slightly indifferent grass. But it's summer, it's cut nice and short. I've got 2 options. What I would tend to do if I'm chipping and I've got to go over something, I might use a 9-iron. In this case, I don't see a reason to do that. I'm just going to use my putter. So how would I start to a little bit from here, read the putt? And the biggest thing for me, which is finding out really where gravity is going to affect the shot. How's that going to make the ball move? So mentally, what I'm looking at, I go up to the hole, I'm mentally looking at the hole, and I'm starting to see which way I think, if I filled the hole up with water, which way the water would run. And that makes a decision on where I'm going to aim relative to my shot. So I'm looking at the hole here. It looks like the green again, water's behind me here. Generally, most courses that you play at, the greens will take the water off towards a pond. So you generally run down this way. Our third green here at Corinthians, I tell all the members this, we've got a little bush situated here on the very front right edge. As you look back at the water, everything runs to that bush. So I know from experience that ball's going to run down that way. So relative to where I'm going, there, it's pretty much, that's a right angle where I'm coming from. So this is, for this putt, because I'm coming from what I call right angle position, it's going to be the biggest breaking putt. We're looking at about 6 paces from the hole. We're working out physically what it's going to do on that side as we go through. So I know everything's going to go that way. I need to be aiming this side of the hole. Because I'm only going over a foot or so of slightly indifferent grass, I'm not going to read too much into that. So I'm now working out in my mind how far I need to be left of the hole, and that's what I'm going to commit to. I'm very happy if I 2-putt this. I get out of here with a 4. If we can roll it in, that's a little bit of a bonus. So the key thing now is I've made a decision. I'm reading this probably breaking about 15 inches, about 4 hole widths from left to right. So now again, just want to get a feel for the shot, and then I've got to commit to that shot. Okay, read it pretty well, quite happy with that, gave it a chance. Always like to see the ball arriving at the hole from that position. Nice little tap in. So we can see there we've finished that hole, we made a nice par. But hopefully what you can see playing that hole, how we've gone through it, we've hit a tee shot to get ourselves in position. We've then looked at our skill level to get the ball over the water. We've read the putt, we've two putted it, we've got our par 4. We're going to go and play another par 4. Let's see if we can do the same. So we've come to my second hole of my challenge. It's actually the 4th hole here at Corinthians Golf Club. And it's what I call a 10 o'clock dog leg. Which basically means it's a dog leg and then it looks like it goes round to 10 o'clock on the face of the watch face. And we're looking at a hole round about 360 yards. So not particularly long par 4, but you'll see when we get to the second shot, it's got its own challenges with a tight shot going into the green. Now, what I want to do, I want to get some good information. That's the key thing. The information is going to allow me to understand what to do for my skill level. So up ahead, we've got some trees in the distance. What I'm looking for is how far are those trees. So I'm just going to get a reading to those. And we're getting a reading of around about 255 yards to get to those trees. Now, again, give a little bit of help here. Anybody comes and plays Corinthians or to the members as you're playing this hole, as I said, it doglegs round to 10 o'clock. And a lot of people, what they try to do is cut the corner and get very close. But unfortunately, over the last few years, the trees on the left side are all grown up and it can easily block you out. So this is what I say to my lessons out here. The sensible play is middle to right side of the fairway. It might give you a slightly longer shot into the green, but you will have a clear shot into the green. So I'm looking at it, if I get it perfect, I might leave myself something like a 9-iron, because we say it's 360 yard hole. If I'm a little bit right of that, it could go up to something like a 6. But I'm happy with that. I don't need to be always in that perfect position. So looking at that, I know I can hit a driver around about that number, but I'm not happy to hit my hybrid to get far enough up the fairway. So I'm going to stick with my driver. I'm just going to do I'm going to grip down the club a little bit, do a slightly shorter swing. It's a shot I've practiced. I know I can then hit that around about 240 yards up the hole. So let's see if we can do it. I'm going to favour the right side. As we said, I naturally hit a little bit of a draw. So if that does do anything, it will just draw me back into the middle. If it doesn't draw back, I'm okay with that because I can play in from there. So as I said, just going to grip a little bit down. That will lose me 10, 15 yards, give me around about 235, 240. That's good. Trust the swing. Let's see what we get. So exactly what I wanted, slightly down the right side of the fairway. Looking at where that's ended up, could leave me anything, as we said, between probably a 7-iron and a 9-iron to the green. Happy with that. I'll back myself with my skill level as a scratch golfer to get that ball on the green. We'll go through my 20-yard zone again as we get to it and go through how I'd read the shot. As I said earlier on, although these things might look like I'm talking about it for quite a while, once you get used to it, these ideas will take seconds. Okay, we're just giving you the idea to give you the chance to play those shots. But let's go and see where we ended up and where we're going to play our second shot from. So again, we're back to my 20-yard routine. We're walking into the ball. Got my viewfinder ready. And again, this just helps speed up play. If you've got it ready, you're not wasting time. I get to my ball, I get a yardage, and it's 134, but it's playing slightly uphill, so it's 139 to get to that hole. Okay, coming slightly out of the rough, but the rough's actually going with me, so that's actually quite nice. That feels like the club will come through. So again, you can see what I'm doing in these shots is we're looking to keep consistency. So that 20-yard routine, consistency of what I'm doing. Pick up the yardage. Now my brain's thinking 139 yards. What's that going to be? Should be, in these conditions, for me, just a nice solid 8-iron, because what I know about this hole is there's a bit of a false front. So I want to get up to the hole. Don't want to be short. If I leave it short, then in that situation, I'm going to give myself then another chip, which I don't want to do. So again, plenty of club. A lot of the time in UK this year, we've had quite a wet summer, so the greens are very receptive. So I know I can throw this all the way up there. I know the green slightly sits towards me. I can do all these things. So again, it's just information that I'm getting. And again, knowing the golf course, you'll be making those decisions pretty quickly. So this is just nice for me, what I'd call a solid 8-iron. Get it to the hole. That's my biggest thing. Give myself a good chance. And again, pretty standard shot. So looking at that, I still like to have a practice swing. I like to get a feel, and I do the practice swing always in the direction that I'm going. So then I'm getting a feeling of how the slope is and how I'm going to play the shot. So for me, just what I'd call a standard 8-iron shot. Nicely into the green. Let's see what we can do. slightly pulled it. We're on the green, but we're way on the left side of the green. So not my best shot, but this is what it's really important to understand is, yes, I could hit a better shot, but I've still put the ball on the green, and from this position, I'd still back myself to 2-putt it. So I'm not getting frustrated with it. Yes, I know I could improve that shot, but I know I'm in an area that from this position, 140 yards, on average, I'm probably going to get down in 3, maybe every now and again in 4, so it's not a bad position. So I see a lot of golfers hit that shot and already, much higher handicap, and they're already getting frustrated by the result. For me, I'm looking at going, yeah, I know it could have been better, but I'm okay. I'm going to have my putter in my hand. I'm happy with that. Let's go and have a look at the putt, see if we can read this one correctly. So I'm walking up to the green, and as I said back there, you could be a little bit disappointed with this result because of what I've physically done, but I'm on the green, okay? And the first thing I would look at when I look at that situation is how far have I actually ended up away from the hole, okay? And I'm just going to get some feedback because I'm just going to repair my pitch mark here, and you can see the ball stopped nicely, so it was a decent connection off the club, somebody else's pitch mark. And what I might learn from that is, if you look at it, I'm right at the front of the green. So again, all the time I want to get information to help me at future times, but let's see how far we've ended up away from the hole. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 paces. So we're talking around about 35 feet. So from that position, okay, maybe a little bit worse than average, but it's okay. But let's go into now, the focus now goes into the green reading. So like we did on the previous hole, my brain is looking for one thing. Where's the water running? I feel it's going to run down here, okay? So this position is what I call my 6 o'clock. If I was standing here looking at that, relative to that now, as a clock face, I'm coming in from around about 8 o'clock. So what I know is if I'm below the 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock line, this has to be an uphill putt. Think of a clock face sitting on a wall, the 6 is at the bottom, the 12 is at the top. So I know this has to be an uphill putt. I know the low point is over there, so I know my golf ball is going to go that way. Now, as I walked up, it looks a little bit steeper than average. So 13 paces, this is a little system I've developed. I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, well, if this was the biggest break, I think this is probably a 4-5% slope. 13 paces, I'm looking, that could break up to 4 feet. But I'm not coming from the biggest break. I'm coming from a position that's probably going to break about 3/4 of that. So I'm still looking at a 3-foot break here on this putt, left of the hole. I know everything's going to go that way. I know it's uphill. So I've got some good information. I'm now looking up there and I'm picking something on the green that says to me, that's my line. Now can we commit to that line and get the result that we're looking for? So all the key thing now is got that information. I've got to trust it. So as I said, good 3 feet left of the hole, expecting this to come round on the slope. Anything within a couple of feet, I'll take it all day long. 3 feet, still a good putt. Okay, and we've got it around about that 2 feet away. Very happy with that. If we can finish that off, we've got out of here with our 4. We're maybe not the best second shot into the green, but concentrating on my skills on other areas of the game, I've been able to get myself through. So really nice drive, quite happy with the drive. The second shot wasn't my best, but what I didn't do, I didn't suddenly start to criticize it. I didn't start to get annoyed by the shot. I walked up to the green, and now because I was in a clear frame of mind, I was able to think clearly about the putt. As we said, a good 35-foot putt, rolled it up to about 18 inches, 2-putted. Somebody said to me on the tee, you can have a 4. I'd go, yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I've given myself a chance. I've made the score. Okay, you're going to make 4s in lots of different ways. What we've done there is just always looked at what's my skill level, what we can do. We're going to play a third hole. I call this the little Corinthians Amen corner, where we've got 3, 4 and 5. They're 3 really nice holes. The challenge of the next hole is 2 things. We've got to go through an alleyway of trees off the tee, and then we're going to go play off a downslope down into a valley into the green. But a lovely looking hole. Let's go and play the 5th. So we've come to the 5th hole, and this is stroke index 1. We're looking at a hole over 400 yards. And why it plays so tricky, it literally is a 50-50 dogleg. You've got to go approximately 200 yards to reach the dogleg, and then it's 200 yards straight down towards the green. You'll see with the second shot, it's actually a little bit helpful because it is down into a valley, so it probably plays a little bit less than that. but we're looking for a nice tee shot here. Let's just get some information. You can see the tight line that we've got to go through. Just going to get some information of the trees in the distance, and we're talking 228 to reach those trees. So a little bit like the first hole we played, where I was looking for that shot around about 180 to 210. That's perfect for my hybrid. I can just knock that down there nicely into that position. Again, go through that routine. I've kept that consistency of initially reading the shot, so I'm keeping that going all the time. Consistency, people say to me, if you're not doing consistent thoughts, it's very unlikely you're going to do consistent swings. So you can see everything we've done on every hole is staying consistent. Find what I've got in front of me, know my skill level, stick to it. It's a nice hybrid, suits my eye this hole. If I can hit it correctly, follows again, another right to left dog leg, follow that round, should be in a good place. So again, just get a feel for what you're doing. Make sure you're happy what you're doing. There, for some reason, my mind started to think a little bit negatively. So I've walked away, started again. The reason for it, just got one of our greenkeepers come up in front of me. I don't want to hit him. So just going to let him go past. And now I can focus back on my shot. So little things like that. Don't keep going if you don't feel happy. Pick your line. Keep that rhythm. We've hit 2 nice tee shots so far. Let's see if we can hit a third. Okay, struck it nicely. Down the middle. And it should just go with the camber. But we're still probably going to have at least 180, 190 yards into the green. But the main thing, by sticking to my routine, knowing my capability, and focusing on where I wanted to go, back to one of my other videos, which was make the target small, makes the fairway big, it didn't seem so claustrophobic to me. But we'll go down, see what we've got. We'll stick to our routine as we're going through, and we'll see if we can get this one on the green, maybe see if we can get a birdie on the hardest hole on the course. So the big thing about all of these videos today is all about routine and sticking to it. And here's my 20-yard zone again. Actually just walking past the 200-yard marker to the middle of the green. Bring ourselves in. Let's see what we got. Now, as we said, slightly downhill. So this will play a little bit shorter than average, okay? And the Bushnell we're using here tells us that. So it's 202 yards to get physically to that flag, but it's only playing 181, okay? Flag's right at the back of the green. So I want to get it there. I think that's the important thing. So a lot of the time I see with golfers here, they're just happy to hit it onto the slope and let it run down a few yards. For me, I want to get it to the hole. So one of the big things, as we said, you're not going to hit that many shots where you smack it right out of the middle of the club. So even though we've probably hit my tee shot and get some feedback back to the tee, how far have I just hit my hybrid? Around about 213 yards. I would look at that and think, right, can I play that club? Now, I'm on a little bit of a downhill slope, so that's going to make the club a little bit more powerful. So the chances I'm now probably going to hit that a little bit too far. I'd like to have hit it because I quite like hitting my hybrid, but now that means I'm going to hit maybe a longer iron going into the green. So what we're going to look at now is taking something like a 5-iron down into the green. Because I'm on a little bit of a downslope, what that's physically going to do for the shot, it's going to make my 5 more like a 4-iron. So again, just mentally, like we did on the first hole, playing on that downhill slope, it just feels like I've got a little bit more power because of the slope. And as long as I stay with the slope, what I mean by that, I want to keep my weight going with the slope onto the left side. It will increase the chance I'm going to get a good connection on the ball. So nice solid 5-iron. Let's see what we get. So feeling my weight on my left side. All I got to do, a little bit like the 9-iron 2 holes ago. Smooth swing. Let's see what we get. Well, I struck it nicely. It's all now, have I chosen the right club or not? Well, we're onto the green. I played probably the safe shot there, gone into the middle of the green, but we're looking at a 185-yard shot, taking into account it's downhill. I've put that ball probably within similar distance to the last hole, 30 feet. I'm going to take that all day long, very happy. I'm going to walk down there thinking, right, 2 putts, and I've just parred the hardest hole on the course. If we can hit a really good putt, you never know, we might make a birdie on it. Let's see what we can do. So I've made my way up onto the green and just mark the ball. And like we've done on every hole so far, let's work out how far we've got to go and work out where the low point is. So again, as I said, I'll walk it out 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we're looking at about 17, 18 paces to get to this hole. And straight away now my mind goes into work on what am I looking to find the low point. So really important to sort of look at the hole, see if the green is consistent as you're going along. From this sort of distance, you may have a putt where it might be a double break. This green consistently seems to sort of slope from this side up the bank here down to the front of the green. But actually when they put the flag on the front here, it's actually quite a flat spot. So a lot of people are swayed by how steep that is and how much it's going to swing. It tends to swing a little bit less than you think when you get to this half of the green, when you're playing into the green, the right-hand side, which is where they've put the flag. But the low point, yeah, I'm just sensing a little bit in my feet where the low point, it feels like the slope's throwing me this way. My eyes are seeing the low point over here. Mentally thinking, if I stood here, would this be a straight uphill putt? So again, I'm just getting information that I feel like, yeah, I can use that to help me. I'm a good 17, 18 paces away from the hole, so it's a good putt. And if the green is consistent, it means if I look at it as a slope, it's probably going to break a good 2-3 feet like we had on the last hole. So once you start to get out to, as I said, 18 paces, what are we looking at? We're talking 45 feet. The ball isn't very rarely, unless you're on that low point line, is going to swing quite a bit. So golfers generally, which I'll do in one of my putting, how to read greens, most people under-read their putts. Okay, so low points over there. I'm coming now really from around about, similar to the last hole, about 8 o'clock, but it's not as steep, the slope, even though it's longer. But because it's longer, it's not as steep, it's a similar amount of break. I still think this is going to break probably around about 3 feet from outside the left side. So I'm imagining that. I'm thinking of putters about 3 feet in length. I'm thinking if I aim about a putter length to the left of the hole, again, I'm coming up the hill. So again, slightly uphill, thinking of my clock face idea. From there now, trust, commit to that line. All on now whether I've got the speed. I think I've got the line really well. Just a couple of feet short again, but from what we're looking at, good 40 feet. I'm going to take that. It's stroke index 1. I've hit a nice tee shot. I've hit a lovely 5-iron onto the green. Rolled it up to 2 feet. Concentrate. Finish it off. And there we go. I've got my par. So stroke index 1, I'm going to take that. But hopefully what you've seen through those 3 holes, what I've looked to do is keep the consistency in everything. So whether that was getting the information to play the shot, whether it was maintaining the swing, whether it was in my mind, just staying calm. And if you can do that, it makes it so much easier for you to play better golf. If you're getting to the golf course and every shot, it feels like you're going on this emotional roller coaster ride and you're changing your technique from shot to shot, the chances are the game is going to be inconsistent. But we played our little 3 holes here that I call Amen Corner at Corinthians, holes 3, 4 and 5. And we've shown you, yeah, how to tactically play them. We're playing that first hole, we use the dog leg, we're on that downslope, make sure you get enough club to get over the water. The second of our holes, which is the 4th hole, we said keep it to the right side, it opens up the green. Even though I didn't play the greatest shot into the green, I hit the green, 2-putted, quite happy. And then stroke index 1 here, which is our 3rd hole, but the 5th here at Corinthians, we've played a nice tee shot, got it onto the green, and 2 putts. But hopefully watching that, as I said, the consistency of what I'm doing. Find that in your own game. Find what works, stick to it. Don't keep chopping and changing, because if you're not consistent in your thoughts, you won't be consistent in your swing. I really hope you enjoyed those 3 holes with me today. I enjoyed playing them. Look forward to seeing you soon. If you enjoyed it, please share these videos with your friends and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.